dealt with a dump truck this morning. That one we did a cylinder and some other work a while too back, that brake chamber and what. And he had an air leak on his on the back part, or like this thing you raise up the hoist for inside. Well, so it turns out that you know, I fiddled with it a little bit and tried to see if there was something wrong with the system, but in the end what happened is that it appears that the gate itself was bent on the outside, like where the locks and stuff are. The gate itself was like tweaked enough to where the cylinders won't close all the way, and therefore they can't release their, you know, pressure or whatever. But we got a crowbar in there, and I lubricated it up, the jaws and everything. You know, we got it to, you could adjust the gate to the point where it would stop leaking, you know, on the inside. There's nothing really wrong with the system, it's just the gate itself is just bad. But I wasn't able to help him with that. I don't have a you know, the welder to do that type of work or what. So I just kind of told him, I said, well, I tried to refer him to somebody, but unfortunately I wouldn't be able to mess with that. But anyway, we got a little bit of stuff to do on the service truck itself. I'm gonna get a truck wash here. It's been a while since I washed it. We're over here at the Blue Beacon here in Kansas City, and then we're gonna run over and get federal inspection done on the truck. And then I've got to go out to out of town and look at a paccar. They're having fuel issues, or well, actually they don't know. Apparently the driver, from what I hear, changed the fuel filters, and ever since then he can't get it started. So I don't know if it's an air issue inside the, you know, the fuel, or because we're going out of town quite a ways. It's quite a ways out there. It's, I don't know, almost 2 hours, hour and a half. But I went ahead and brought me an injector pump, because on them MX motors you got injector pumps instead of a fuel pump. So I brought one injector pump and then a lift pump, just because if we don't need them, we don't need them. But maybe it's just simple and got air lines or whatever. But I'll bring you guys along for that one. We're gonna wash the truck, like I said, and get an inspection done on it. Mine expired in June, but I didn't really worry about it until I got back from camping and all that. But so we're gonna get that done and head out of town to go do that. I got a pretty crazy day. I got to do, when I get done with that, I got to come back and get, I just got to finish up on a bunch of other jobs. I got to deal with that day cab on that Freightliner. Finish putting that, what do you call it, that actuator in the Kenworth. He's at work right now, but I'll get it later on when he's done. And then I don't know if that's all I've got as far as extras. I've got a couple of appointments I got to do. We're going to put the axle in that trailer. He's ordering that right now. There was a video I did a while back about putting brakes on a trailer and airbags and all that, and it turns out the whole axle portion of it's bent right there, so that would explain it. He took it over to a trailer guy, so I could probably do it quite a bit cheaper than what they can. So luckily we got the job on that one, so we'll see if it happens. If it does happen, you know, so who knows. But anyway, that's the plan for right now. I'll take you guys along anyway. So right now we're gonna get an acid wash because this thing is greasy. I always try to clean it up before I go get an inspection done on it anyway. So they said we got to wear a mask, so luckily I carry one around.
engine when we're done washing it?
No, I can tell right here if they're going to do anything.
Alright, well show them if you want to. Ready?
Alright.
Just hop in, start it up, and we'll rinse it off.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. That is that. Run over here and get an inspection done right quick. So we can be legal once again. Well, at least in my case, I don't like to have my truck all greasy, the bed of my truck and all that. I don't like to have it all full of grease, and it just looks terrible, and I don't know, it just makes for a dirty situation. So I'll wash it about, I don't know, sometimes during the wintertime I'll wash it 2 or 3 times a week, just because I don't want it to be a grease pit. But during the summer I can usually go, maybe, depending on the jobs, I can usually go a few weeks before I wash it. So anyway, we're gonna run over here, get an inspection done, our yearly thing, one of them, and then off to the races. We're gonna go out of town anyway. Well, we got our inspection done. Took a little longer than what I was hoping for, but it is what it is. So we're gonna head out. I got about just over a 2-hour drive, or just under. I think it's just under right now, but we're gonna go look at a paccar. Engine broke down. They're not sure what's going on. No, can't get it started, so we're just gonna go out and see if we can get it going. But when we get down here, we're doing that. We got a fairly long night. I gotta finish up on the rest of the stuff, so anyway, I'll see y'all after a bit. figure out what in the hell's it here. Somebody's been doing something. I'm not sure what that's about. Where it's supposed to be full, it is. Over here, that's all I was looking at. I thought maybe it was a sensor.
Well, that's what I thought too. I put a half gallon in the damn thing thinking it's a sensor. Dude, I did everything.
It is what it is, man. It's what I do for a living. All the way to the floor. Never underestimate simplicity, my friend.
Dude, I did everything I thought was
I know, I believe it. It's a paccar.
once over.
No gas pedal, just flip it over. Situated, get his truck going for him. I brought with me a like I said before, I brought a lift pump and oh hell, I forgot what they're calling these damn packars. They're the pumps. They're the one for each cylinder. I don't know what they're called. But anyway, I brought one with me just in case. I didn't think it was going to be that or either one of them, but we did a pressure test on the fuel and it had good pressure. It was just had a crap ton of air in it, and I think my opinion is that the process of changing the fuel filters wasn't done properly. Apparently they called out Loves or whatever, but a lot of those guys don't know too much detail about, you know, any internal workings of the motor or whatever. But anyway, you know, long story short, we were able to get him going, and you know, we turned it off and on a few times. Shop time for whatever shop he would have towed it to. come out here, even though it was, you know, fairly expensive, still come out by the bush cheaper. So that's why we got called out on the job to get it done. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the trip. It wasn't really much to look at, but it is what it is. Topeka. I like to call it Topeka just because I can. Looks like there's a BP over there. That's what we're going to end up doing. On this truck here, I'm lucky if I get 8 miles to the gallon. It weighs close to 20,000 with everything in it, so. She likes her fuel. I'll let this guy over. Come on. Alrighty, we're fueled up and ready to roll again. Don't take long to put on 60 gallons, that's for sure. City. I'm gonna run over here and see if these trucks are back. Got that actuator to put on, and then finish up on that day cab. See if they're back. Usually they go out in the mornings and come back in the evenings. So. Kansas City. We are here to deal with this. Get my door open. Here to put this actuator on this truck. It's the one we had a while back, but he's gone on vacation, and so I kind of wasn't in no hurry to get it done. But he's going to be coming back at the end of the week, so we're going to get him situated so he can run. And the problem was that the AC worked. We did a condenser on this thing here a while back, and the issue was that he didn't have AC blown in his face, and it turned out it was the actuator. So, we had taken this actuator out of here, and I just left it out and put it where it worked on like it was before, so it was real, when we got it to put back on, it was real, just an install type thing. So this is the one I got in, brand new. I've had it for a couple of days. I just haven't had a chance to get over here, but we're gonna get this thing installed and see what we got going on here. So. This is kind of in a default position here, so I just want to make sure that I have it the same down here, so just kind of go where it needs to go, rather. It looks like it's kind of at an angle, so I'm just going to do this to match it up accordingly, and it should just... I almost always say should, because there's times where it might look like it's supposed to be that way, but in the end, sometimes it just don't happen. I just got another phone call here a little while ago of another mechanic shop. I think they're real busy to the point where they can't handle the volume that they got, or not enough techs, or whatever the case is, but they asked me if I'd go over and look at one of their customers' vehicles on site. So I don't have a problem doing that for another shop, but they got to be aware that I do my own diagnostics. I just can't come off of somebody else saying, oh, it's this or this. If that's the case, You know, and you don't want me to diagnose it and just put a part on for you, that's fine. But if it's not if that doesn't fix the problem, you know, you're still into it for the labor. So that's kind of what I tell them. I was like, I don't mind doing that. If you don't want me to diagnose it, I can go over there and just put a part on for you. If you've already done all the diagnosis, that's fine. But as far as liability, you know, if that's not what it is, and you know, your tech misdiagnosed it or whatever, I said, well, you're still going to be liable for the you know, the rate. So we'll see if it comes through. If it doesn't, well, we'll move on to something else. So I don't mind helping those guys out, but if they just say, well, you just need to put this on, that's fine, but that doesn't fix it. I'm usually pretty thorough about diagnosis. I mean, that's, you know, that's going to determine what's what for the most part. So I try to be fairly thorough about it. If it takes me a little bit longer, that's fine, so long as it's right. Because I'd rather the customer spend the money and it fixes the problem than spend money and it doesn't fix the problem. You're still stuck with the same thing, because that doesn't look good. So I'm usually pretty thorough. And I always tell the people the same thing, you know, the ones that just want me to come out and do a parts change. I'm like, well, that's fine, but if that doesn't fix the problem, you know, you didn't want me doing my own diagnosis, you know, they don't want to pay the fee or what. So, well, that's fine, but you're going to be liable for the labor, you know, and all that if it doesn't fix your problem, and I'm still going to charge you. In the end, most of the time they'll usually say go ahead and diagnose it as well, even if somebody else has diagnosed it. I guess it's just the nature of the business, I guess. You don't know how much experience you know, the other guys had, or he doesn't know how much experience you have, or so you just got to do your own thing, and it is what it is. So I've got this pretty much to the point where it's a plug and play. We're gonna start the truck up and plug it in and just cycle through the modes here and see what we got. Let me see if I can start it up over here. Can't really feel it, but put a piece of paper up there. The vents are kind of broke, but it's over here on the face right now, like the vents, and I'll switch it over here to the defrost, and you'll see the paper go down. I switched it over to defrost. Now the paper will lay flat. So we already know the defroster worked and all that shit, so I'll put it back up into the vent and you'll see the paper come out again. Yeah, there comes the paper right now, so that was clearly our problem. Hopefully he'll be happy and be able to stay cool. It makes a difference when it comes out the vents and it's right in your face. So anyway, that's that. I'm gonna button this all back up and we're gonna move on with other things. So just install that piece because I had everything else done and kind of just waiting there to be installed. And then, you know, just moving on. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one, and we're going to move on. I got to go over and deal with that exhaust so I can get that done and whatnot. The guy with the day cab hasn't showed back up, so we're going to move on and do other things until he does. So anyway, that's that for that one. Together. Hopefully it comes together pretty quick, or not too bad. I mean, I've got most everything all tore apart already. And we might be able to be done for the day after I get that done. And got a couple of appointments tomorrow. We'll see if they can come back in. Sometimes they try to make appointments, but they don't make it back in time.